It's just after midnight on October 12th, 2012. A quiet condominium complex in Highland Park, Kentucky. It's the kind of place where nothing ever happens. A woman calls 911 and calmly says she has shot her boyfriend. When officers arrive, they find 28-year-old Ryan Carter Poston, a successful young attorney, lying on the floor. He's been shot 6 times and he is already dead. Standing nearby is his girlfriend, 21-year-old Shayna Michelle Hubers. Now, Shayna tells the police that she had no choice, that this was self-defense. But within hours, the words coming out of her mouth will become some of the most disturbing ever captured on interrogation tape, including this. I gave him the nose job he always wanted. Tonight, we're breaking down what really happened, who Shayna Hubers was, who Ryan Poston was, and why 2 jurors 2 years apart, convicted her of murder. But to understand how it ended here, we have to rewind. Hi, everyone. If you're new here, I am Holly Mae Cormier. Ryan Carter Poston was born December 30th in 1982. That makes him a Capricorn, ambitious, disciplined, and achievement-driven. And Ryan embodied that. He grew up in Fort Mitchell, Kentucky, raised by his mother, Lisa Carter, and his father, Jay Poston. And I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Poston, I don't know. I'm very Canadian, clearly. He had 3 younger sisters, and by all accounts, he took his role as older brother very seriously. Ryan attended elite schools in Manila and Geneva before returning to the U.S. He graduated from Indiana University in 2005, triple majoring in history, geography, and political science. He was clearly an academic overachiever. Then came law school at Northern Kentucky University. By his late 20s, Ryan was practicing law in Cincinnati. He was successful, confident, and according to some, he was very aware of this. Friends described him as charming, intelligent, but also vain. Yes, he had a lot going for him, and he knew that he had a lot going for him. And in 2011, that confidence drew someone in, someone much younger than Ryan. Now, let's get to this someone special. This was Shayna Michelle Hubers, born on April 8th, 1991, an Aries. Aries are known for being intense, impulsive, and emotionally driven. I'm an Aries. At the time that she met Ryan, Shayna was 20 years old. She was a psychology student at the University of Kentucky. She was living about 80 miles away from Lexington, where Ryan himself lived. It's quite the difference. It's probably about an hour and a half drive away from each other. She herself was academically accomplished. She was pursuing a master's degree in school counseling. Now, on the surface, Shayna appeared bright, motivated, and put together. She met Ryan through Facebook via his step-cousin, Carissa Carlisle. Now, the attraction between Ryan and Shayna was immediate, but so was the imbalance. A 28-year-old attorney and a 20-year-old college student. From the very beginning, the relationship was described as volatile. They broke up, they reconciled again, and their mutual friends began to notice something unsettling. Shayna didn't just love Ryan. She clung to him, like obsessively clung to Ryan. Puff, puff, puff. So over the next 18 months, their relationship became increasingly unstable. Text messages, later introduced during trial, showed Shayna sending long, emotional, obsessive messages. Ryan, on the other hand, was pulling away. So over the course of their relationship, there was 50,000 text messages sent between these two. Ryan reportedly sent Shayna 1,000 of those messages, and Shayna sent Ryan 49,000 of those messages. So you can see the imbalance right there. She was clearly more interested in him, and he not so much. According to testimony, Ryan tried to end things permanently several times, but Shayna refused to let go. Then came the night that would seal his fate. So on October 11th, 2012, the day before Ryan's death, Ryan confided in his stepfather, and he confided that he had a date planned with Audrey Bolt, Miss Ohio, USA 2012. Yes, a beauty queen. Ryan was excited, but he was also afraid. He didn't want Shayna to know. Audrey testified later that she and Ryan planned to meet at a bar in Milford, Ohio at 9:30 p.m. Ryan never showed up for their date. Instead, Shayna drove from Lexington to Ryan's condo. What happened inside would become one of the most dissected crime cases in Kentucky history. So inside the condo, it was very clear to investigators that an argument had erupted. Things were left in disarray, and Shayna would later claim that Ryan was abusive, that he threatened her, and that she feared for her life. But forensic evidence painted a very different picture. Ryan was shot 6 times, including shots to his face. The prosecution argued that this was not panic from Shayna. It was an execution. Now, after the shooting, Shayna called 911 and admitted that she had killed him. She was calm, cool, collected, not hysterical, not crying on the 911 call, just calmly said, I killed my boyfriend. He was abusive. It was self-defense. Okay, she was arrested. She was charged with his murder. Bond was set at $3 million, but she couldn't afford the bond and she remained behind bars. Okay, so I want to back up a little. I want to talk about the investigation a little bit. So Shayna was read her Miranda rights. She chose to speak. Now, at first, she framed herself as the victim and that this was a case of self-defense. But of course, the cracks began to appear, as they usually do. During the police interrogation, the interview, she mocked Ryan. She commented on his looks, a man that she just shot dead. She joked about shooting him in the face. And at one point, she even worried about whether anyone would want to marry her at this point, having killed her boyfriend. Hours after being alone in the interrogation room, the tone shifted entirely. Shayna began pacing. She danced. She sang Amazing Grace in the interrogation room. She spoke to herself, and the things that she was saying was, I did it. Yes, I did it. Then came the line that would follow her forever. I'm so good at acting. That footage would be played again and again in court. Now, the first trial, okay? So this case has 2 trials. Let's talk about the first trial in this case, in the Shayna and Ryan case. Shayna Hubert's murder trial. First trial, began in April of 2015. Nearly 3 years now after Ryan's death. 3 years later, she's finally going on trial. So prosecutors argue motive. Ryan wanted out of the relationship, and Shayna just couldn't accept that. She was obsessed with him. This was her man. No one was taking him away, and he was not getting away from her. Witnesses included Ryan's family, Audrey Boltier, the beauty queen that he was set to go on a date with that night, the night that Shayna shot him dead. And another witness was Shayna's former cellmate. That cellmate testified Shayna bragged about killing Ryan while incarcerated with her in prison. She was apparently laughing about shooting him in the face, and she was claiming that she was too smart to plead insanity. And she also admitted to saying that she would much rather use the battered women syndrome excuse instead. Shayna did not testify. After 5 hours of deliberation, her guilty of murder. She was sentenced to 40 years in prison with parole eligibility after 20. But the case wasn't over. Remember, I said that there was 2 trials. This is the results of trial number 1. Of course, there was an appeal. So in 2016, Shayna's conviction was overturned, not due to innocence, but because it turns out that a juror in her first trial was actually a convicted felon. So a new trial was ordered. This time, Shayna testified in her own defense, gave graphic details. She leaned heavily into abuse allegations, but after 5 hours of deliberation, the second jury also found her guilty of murder. And this time, the sentence was life in prison with parole eligibility after 20 years. So, 2 trials, 2 juries, same conclusion. Ryan Poston was trying to move on. He was trying to get out of a toxic relationship. Shayna Hubers refused to let him go. This case isn't just about violence, it's about obsession, control, and what happens when someone decides, if I can't have you, no one will. Shayna Hubers will be eligible for parole in 2032. Thank you for honoring Ryan's story with me. And if stories like this resonate with you, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I will have links in the description to purchase my novel, Memphis, a domestic crime thriller. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.